Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I believe you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Can you hear me? All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Okay, great, great. I see that you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Um, we are trying to wait for our guest. It promises to be a very fantastic time today. So we're just trying to wait for our guests. Welcome everyone. We are live. We are live. Please tell your friends they can join us. We are live. All right. Okay, we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. You can join us, whichever one you feel comfortable with. Yep. Okay. We are waiting for our guest. I'm just trying to have him join us. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of our live session. I can see Ayo Kunle has joined. I can see Daddy Me, Feyikemi, and quite a number of persons are joining already. Thank you for joining in early. Great. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Please tell your friends we are live. We are live. Woo! Promises to be a beautiful one today, man. Okay, our guest is here. Our guest is here. Is here. Is here. We are live. Okay, thank you everyone for joining in. So I'm just gonna take this. Yeah. Oh, look who we have here. Hello, hello, Olamide. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Good.
Yeah,
Good
beautiful.
morning from here. It's
Come
afternoon.
on,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah,
Good
I
day.
know it's so I know it's very early right now in Canada, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's about 9
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, by the way, how is the weather now in Canada, Olamide?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not as bad as people think.
Okay.
This part of Canada is relatively okay, but although yeah, it's
Okay, just
cold, but not as cold as it used to be in times past.
oh,
So, you know,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, okay, all right, all right, all right. So that's fantastic. Before we start, to our guest, we are live on Instagram, we are live on YouTube, whichever platform you want to join us from. I'm sorry we cannot go live on Facebook today, but I promise you that in the live, in the next session will be live, right? So we're just
Yeah.
gonna take it up from here, Olamide. I'm telling you,
Okay.
people are super excited, to have you join us today. And
Yeah.
every month, yeah, every month we have this kind of webinar, and it's something a lot of people are looking up to. That hey, guys, when is the next one? When is the next one? Because of the kind of knowledge that the people we bring in share in on this platform. For me personally, I am super excited to have this session with you, this conversation, because I know you're a global talent. I know the kind of things you do. Yeah, so I'm personally super excited, and I'm sure that our, our audience will also enjoy it today. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So I'm just going to ask you first question here that I have with me. Allow me to please tell us about you. Tell us your background. What is your journey like? How did you become a project manager in a place like Canada? We want to hear from you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. I would say I started my career in Nigeria. I don't know if
Okay.
it's okay to mention organizations here, but I started with in Ibadan as
Oh,
a yeah. Yeah, I
in
started my
Ibadan here.
career. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I was working for a multinational company
Okay.
in manufacturing. Yeah. So worked for a while. Then I joined the digital team to deliver a manufacturing execution system project as an associate project manager. So that was when
Okay.
I transitioned from engineering operations
Okay.
into project management, and I started headlong with a digital project manager. So yeah, I delivered the project for 1 year, ran the system for another 1 or 2 years. Then I joined another multinational in Lagos, where I became a associate project manager for Sub-Saharan Africa, running projects in Ghana, Angola, Nigeria, South Nigeria, and the likes. Yeah, so that was when I entered fully into the traditional aspect of project management. I was in the digital aspect before. Then I moved to Lagos and I started the whole traditional planning, engaging everybody, stakeholders and the likes. Yeah, we've been doing that. So that was when I entered fully into project management. And shortly I moved to Canada, and on getting here, I found myself also in project management in
Oh.
the yeah, in the digital aspect of program. Now it's not program management, and
Okay.
with a telecommunications company. So when I got here, my career started in telecom and running digital projects and also traditional projects in the telecom industry. Yeah,
Wow, wow. I mean, you have an amazing journey. I mean,
yeah.
hearing from you that you started in a place like Ibadan and today you are a global recognized talent in a place like Canada is so amazing. And this just shows that everybody or anybody out there who looks into transitioning into tech is really possible. And if I understand from your profile, you studied agricultural engineering. You didn't even
Yes,
start with,
yes. I didn't want to mention too much about my profile, but I studied agricultural engineering from the
wow.
prestigious Federal University of Technology, Akure.
You're adding
Yeah,
prestigious to that.
yeah, of course, obviously. And
Okay.
yeah, I did agriculture. Now, one truth is we've always been doing project management, and all my career I've been involved in projects like both personal and international projects. Because I remember I was the regional ambassador to Nigeria for United Nations and
Oh,
Samsung Engineering. on environmental projects, environmental awareness across Nigeria. So we've
Wow.
been running project management. It's just that we feel like, oh, I need to be in a standard organization that will call me a
Mhm.
project manager before I can call myself a project management professional, which is not always the case. Everybody, even right now, we are running a project, we are doing a live show, which involves a lot of planning, engagement, timeline. So that's it. Yeah.
Wow, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much for taking your time to really take us through your journey into
Yeah.
becoming an IT project manager. All right, so we just go dive there deeper into this, and I want to know. I mean, our audience want to also know what
Okay.
are the key differences between traditional project management and looking at the topic we are treating today and looking at the digital world that we are evolving into today. So,
Okay.
what is the key or what are the key differences between traditional project management and managing projects within a digital transformation framework?
Okay. Yeah. That's a very interesting topic.
Okay.
Because my very first project too, like in a standard organization, was
Yeah.
in digital transformation. So
Okay.
when we say traditional projects, I'm assuming we're talking about the waterfall aspect of projects,
Yeah.
where we have just like the construction, because
Hmm.
we move from one phase to another phase to another phase. Yes, it's just like the digital transformation aspect is a bit improvement from that.
Okay.
However, contrary to the some popular opinion that it's better than traditional, no, it depends on situation you find yourself, and in
Hmm.
most cases, as a
Okay.
project manager, you will take up the two. But I will mention the difference, and the simple difference is just that in the normal traditional project management, you may not see your product until the end, overall end. And you
Mm.
just anticipate. But in the digital aspect, you get to see a glimpse, you get to have what we call minimum value MVP, minimum valuable product, minimum valuable
Yeah.
product that you can see and use while the project is still going on. For example, in traditional project management, you want to get a phone and you are saving, right? You're saving money, you're doing money, you're putting all the truth and everything together until the end and you get a phone. But if you want to run that aspect on the digital part, you can just go to the what do you call it, the phone seller, and probably today you get a charger, tomorrow you get an earpiece, and the next day you may get a battery, and the next time you get a phone. Oh, you can see the phone and not put it on. And the next stage, it creates this excitement that you keep improving on. That's just what, and it creates a pulse. For example, digital transformation comes with a lot of pushback because you are moving from the normal ways of doing things to a new
Yeah.
way of doing things. So, but when you are deploying such projects, you just have to be releasing there's what we call release management, and you release in bits. For example, I like an example. If I want to
Yeah.
run a project, like, okay, I want to celebrate my birthday. Hey, birthday. For everybody, we want to go to the beach for my birthday. And just to create the excitement, the anticipation, I can invite two people and show them how it looks like. They go to the beach, they enjoy, and they come back and they tell you, guys, it's so interesting. And it's not my birthday yet, but I'm showing, giving you a glimpse of how it will look like. And the next time, another four people, the next time, another six people, seven people. So that's how to run that's how to deploy a digital transformation project. In that way, the whole organization, because if one person, I could remember that system, it was a global system, it will change the entire way the company was running things. So
Wow.
by the time we're almost done, during the phase of the project, we brought in end users and they tested this. Wow, this is absolutely fantastic. And for transmission projects like that, you get rumors, we're gonna take away our jobs, we're gonna do this. But when you introduce key part of it to them, and they say, "Oh no, it's not going to take my job." Those persons become champion, and they give to other people, and that's part of pushback of change, resistance to change is developed. So that's for the digital projects. That's how to deploy that, the difference. For traditional projects, you wait, just like a building. You can't say, oh, once the bricks are up, I want to move in. So you have to wait till everything is furnished to a large extent before you can say, okay, I have my product. So
Yeah.
that anticipation is longer. Yeah.
Wow. 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 Thank you very much for this, Olavide. I mean,
Um,
I love the example you used, which makes it very understandable. I mean, the example of, look, it's my birthday and I take two people, take four people next time. It makes it very clear and it gives, a better understanding to it. So I will just ask the next question in that line because I want to understand, oh, if this is the idea that happens in digital transformation, if this is the approach, agile approach, and you are saying, oh, the traditional approach is more like the waterfall, and this is more like, at the end of the day, you see the result. Now, coming to this digital transformation and the approach we use here, how do you prioritize the digital transformation initiatives within a project management framework? How do you
okay.
prioritize?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's absolutely a fantastic question. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there was this what we call I will call it innovation challenge, which
Okay.
I was the winner for West and Central Africa. And
Wow.
what happened is when you call for digital transformation, you're basically calling for improved ways of doing things. You're basically calling for change, absolute change to the standard way or the normal way of doing it. And in prioritizing this, there are two things you need to put in focus. That is the business benefit and the cost benefit to the organization. So when you look at the cost benefit, that is, are we saving more money with this initiative or are we going to be incurring more money? For example, you have a new initiative in your organization. Oh, we want to change the way we do things. We don't
Yeah.
want to use paper anymore. We don't want
Yeah.
to use printers anymore. We want to
Yeah.
start using tablets and
Yeah.
laptops and the likes. And when you look at the organization and you compare the costs over the next 10 years, you can look at the ESG, the environmental sustainability aspects,
Yeah.
and you look at the benefits, then you can use that to prioritize whatever initiative you want. And when you
Hmm.
now look at the business process, what we call business process, is this going to improve my business process? What I do in 10 days, is it going to make it? Can I do it in 2 hours with this initiative? And when you start bringing in those variables and you put a weightage on them, that's what we call weightage. For example, you have 5 items. You want to go to the market, right? You want to prepare soup. I don't know,
Yeah.
a polio or this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to, you have a variety of places to go. How do you put the weightage? Which item carries more weight? For example, if I want to prepare a soup now and I want to go to the market, I have all my requirements, which is basically what we do in project management. I have all my requirements.
Yeah.
But salt will definitely carry one of the biggest weights, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
the items like if it's egusi soup, obviously egusi carries the biggest weight after salt or something. But items like probably a curry or a thyme or a nutmeg, yeah, it's part of it, but the weight it carries is low. So now,
Yeah.
if I want to prepare egusi soup and I have limited resources to choose, I won't go and pick nutmeg. I won't go and pick even groundnut oil. I will just prioritize. Okay, I'll have to get a goosey out. So looking at the benefits to my organizational business process, I can easily prioritize and say, okay, Egusi carries the first, Egusi initiative carries the first, farmer initiative carries second, import initiative, gas initiative. before I go into the nutmeg, into the curry, into some of the so that's how we prioritize each initiatives. And I could remember in that organization, one of the transformation we did was that we streamlined the information flow across multiple departments. And when
Mm,
you see activities that take, oh, I need to sign this form, you print it out, you look for the manager to sign, you print it out again. So we created like a streamlined process that goes through the approval online, and within a matter of hours, everybody gets the approval done. That is a business improvement. So
mm.
when you have a project like that, and you have another project that doesn't seem to improve business growth, of course, that goes below the ladder. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. So much information here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is why I was super excited at the beginning that look
yeah,
at what we are bringing. I mean, I love the way you break it down. You make a layman so much understand it. Thank you so
yeah.
much. Thank you
That's
so
one
much
of
for
the
breaking it
duties of a project manager. You don't have to be
down.
technical. Yeah, you deal with
Mm,
technical people, you deal with developers, you deal with
yeah,
analysts, you deal with a lot of people.
yeah,
But when you're communicating business aspects, you're going
yeah.
straight into the business part, leave the technical details. Yeah, I don't want to go into the technical details of project management, which is not the purpose of this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you so much, Alamide, for that. Beautiful. But while you were explaining how to prioritize or the factors you need to consider for you to be able to prioritize rightly, you made mention of resources. You made mention of in your own terms, the weight of the salt, the weight of the egusi, and you were using that to compare with the current resources available to know, oh, this is what you want to go for. But just a quick one. Can the project manager alone, or does the project manager alone decide does he prioritize alone, or he does that with this team? I just want to understand if there is a collaboration, or the project manager can just prioritize that, oh, this system, let's say we are building an app, that's the project. Oh, this system is what we'll do first. This one is what, I just want to know. I think our audience would also want to know that.
Yes, so the project manager does not absolutely decide in such case. And when you look at it,
Okay.
when we kind of start talking about this prioritization, you look
Mm,
at it from the product endpoint. What are we looking at the end, which is not really the duty of the project manager. We have all other roles within the project management framework. And when
yeah.
we talk about the digital transformation, the role of project manager becomes more like a scrum master,
Mm,
yeah, or a facilitator, whereas somebody that does the prioritization is called the product owner. So
okay.
this person, yeah, a project manager can act in such position in a situation in an organization where you don't have that capacity to have that big pain that can do the prioritization. But initially, all the things you need to know is that whatever project you are doing, there is a sponsor, there is a major stakeholder, there is a
Yeah.
key person or two or three that has interest in the project. So, and that's where understanding your stakeholder comes in when you want to prioritize projects. Because
Mm,
if you are working in an organization as a scrum master or a project manager, you need to identify your major stakeholder, your passive stakeholders, and you also need to understand the end product. So you can see you need to have a balanced view, because if your project, your delivery, whatever you're doing, is not satisfying the major stakeholders, then you're not running the project. You are the person is most likely getting to be fired at the end of the project. Yeah.
right. Wow.
So
Wow. Fantastic.
in knowing the best initiative, you
Yes.
consult. I'm trying to
Okay.
model up a lot of things now.
Yeah.
The organization decides, the organization, whoever, maybe the CEO, the CTO, they are the major sponsors. They kind of come together and decide on where or the line the business is going through. And when the project manager comes in, he gets to understand the initiative and takes it to his team and breaks it down. Now, within the team, in the concept of product management or project management, we have a product owner. This person relates with the products. He understands the requirements. He understands what needs to be done, what needs to be delivered, and where it's going to be beneficial. So, a
Yeah.
project manager or a scrum master works with this product owner, and in this case, the project manager becomes a scrum master that tries to clear roadblocks. Any roadblock, probably you ordered for an equipment and it's not
Yeah.
coming on time. You go to the project manager, you call the vendor, he does all those that you negotiate and get the project on site. Whereas the product owner only talks about, oh, we need to deliver an app that can order food. The user wants to make sure he can see the food, he can see the live video, he wants to be able to click on the meat, number of meats, number of fishes. So that's what the product owner does. Try to explain how the product will look like to satisfy the customer. Whereas
Wow.
the project manager in this case becomes somebody like a facilitator, the overall view that looks at all the backlogs, sorry, not backlog, all the roadblocks that can impede, that can hinder the delivery of the project. So, in summary, the person that does the prioritization is the product owner, not the project manager.
Hmm.
But in an organization, the sponsor sets the pace or the direction for the project. So you can see
Wow.
the difference. Yeah,
Clear,
yeah,
very
mhm,
clear, very clear. But before you go, still on this subject, Olamide. So
yeah,
if this is the flow, if this is the flow, understanding that also in a project execution, there are quite a number of stakeholders. There are, development
yeah.
team, the project manager, the product owner, looking at the kind of environment we are in. To you, from your experience, what would you say are common challenges that project managers usually face when it comes to a digital transformation project? What are some of
Okay.
the common challenges? Yeah,
On digital transformation projects, I know the project manager works with the business analyst on this.
yeah,
And some organizations, the project manager also acts as a business analyst. And one of the challenges is gathering requirements. When it looks simple and easy when you say, oh, you gather requirements, you do this. But in an actual organization setting, imagine you're working in an organization with 1,000 people and you need to understand what about three or five departments needs, what their needs is in relationship or when you look at it in the view of the product you want to deliver. For example, I want to deliver a product that showcases furniture, and the supply chain team wants to have a say in the product. The development team, the artisans wants to actually definitely have a say. The procurement manager needs to have a say. The who else? Even the customer needs to have a say, and you need to talk to everybody. You need to buy in their idea. You need to get their requirements. And in many cases, many people don't understand their requirements until almost the end of the project. And I'll be like, oh, sorry, can we have this? And you'll be like, oh, but I explained this before and you never mentioned this. And as a project manager, you just have to find a way of bringing in such new requirements in the form of change requests, go through the approval board, and all that stuff. I'm not going to the technicalities, but the major challenge is gathering requirements. And the second major challenge is what we call integration, deployment. At the deployment phase, it's always because you are changing the way people are doing things. Somebody that has been writing on paper before and signing and giving to a secretary to just do whatever. Now you're telling the person to log into an email, to type in the password, to read emails, and to forward, to download. For somebody which is one of the major challenge in government organizations now, and because when you bring about a digital transformation, just imagine how you want to deploy that in a system where behind their back sit stacks and stacks of files. And
yeah,
whenever they need any file, they look at number, what's your first name and last name? Okay, they go to the file and pick it up. And this person has been doing it for 25 years. And you now come and tell the person and say, okay, no more files. I need you to log into an email. I need you to search. I need you to type. And the person feels like, why are you adding more job to my work? I just sign and dump it. And uh, as a project manager, then another phase of your project starts. That's
Wow.
another phase where you need to work with some other team, either the education and training department, you deploy end user trainings, accepting this change because you have to work in a ramp up plan, making sure the organization gets integrated into your new system. It's always a very big challenge. I can tell you that.
Wow, 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 wow. So let me now ask how, because of the example you also cited, how
Mhm.
do you collaborate and communicate with cross-functional teams?
Oh, yeah. So that's why, as a project manager, you just have to have an interesting personality. Yeah,
Mm,
especially within the organization, you have to
yeah.
be able to communicate. And number
Okay.
one, not just communicate in terms of emails, communicate on a personal level. If my style is very simple, if I need something from you, I don't send you an email or
Hmm.
try to copy it. No, I try to look for you, chat with you, ask about your family, and yes, it's part of the job because that's what you're being paid for. You get to a level in management that you leave some technical details when it comes to how you negotiate, how you communicate, how you get things done. And that's where you see some people with very interesting personalities, like comedians, like people that are jovial, thriving well on this role because you cannot be an introvert as a career manager. You just have to be out there. You have to be a people person. That alone can bring about some form of, I'll call it confidence. And I don't want to use confidence. I think it's more of a relaxed mind because you already have a certain level of relationship. So when I call for meetings, when I call for communication or maybe deployment, to a large extent, your stakeholders, that means the people you're working with, are willing to listen, right? Okay. And let me go into the details of how we communicate, right? So we communicate by emails, by conferences, by interviews, by calls, and the likes. But I still believe the major way, the best way to communicate is don't go straight into official business. Try to be on a personal level. Yeah, you may not be able to do that with everybody, but when you identify there is in a pack of wolves, there's always a lead. In a pack of sheep, there's always a lead,
Yeah.
which is the structure the internet uses now, which we call influencer. You know,
Hmm.
when you're able to gain the attention of two or three influencers in the social media space, just know that your product is going to sell. Same
Hmm.
way it goes in an organization. When you have the buy-in of two or three champions, and these people may not be managers, they might not be senior managers, among the technicians, among the end users, there are people that many people look up to. Once they can buy into your project, just be rest assured that a large percentage of people are going to buy. So same thing operates in project management also. We call them champions, product champions. You get their buy-ins, you get their everything. That way, their body language alone communicates to every other stakeholder within the organization. Yeah.
Kai, I really love this example, and for me too, I'm really learning a lot from this. Looking at how you say, oh, my approach when it comes to communication to cross-functional team. For example, I need something from somebody. I really don't do emails, just to make the communication a bit away from being too, official,
Yeah.
and that's where you achieve your result. I think is an approach I want to also, I want to also try to deploy. And thank you for sharing that secret. I'm sure maybe that's one of the things that has helped you to where you are today, and is giving you a very good. All right, thank you for that. All right, so To our audience, we believe you are enjoying this. We believe you are getting a lot of value from this. We are talking about digital transformation, a project manager, what are his roles and responsibilities. That is what we are talking about today. And we have Olamide with us today, who works or resides in Canada. He's a senior IT project manager. He's obviously a global talent when it comes to tech, and he has been sharing invaluable or valuable, values with us today. I'm just going to ask you something that builds up on the last discussion we had. Uh, Obviously, we are in the digital era, and most organizations now are trying to transform into, digital transformation for their organizations in their approach and all of those things.
Yeah,
But Olamide, looking at your experience, you definitely would say for quite a number of projects like this, there are risks.
of
Do
course.
you want to share with us how do you mitigate this risk? What are your approach, to mitigating risk?
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, thanks for that. It's a beautiful question because it's in any project, in anything we are doing, there's
Yeah.
always a risk. And so this is not only about project management, it's about life in general.
Mm.
And one of the best ways to mitigate a risk is to,
Okay.
first of all, identify the potential risk.
Mm.
Because if you want to travel on a
Yeah.
Nigerian road,
Yeah.
you look at the risk, right?
Yes.
If you don't know the risk, you just take your car and enter the road. Once when the risk comes, it becomes sudden.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do. For
Yeah.
example, you just take the car and you hit the road, and on the way, maybe you're moving from Akure to Ibadan, and probably on your way in Elisha or Osu or Ilefe, you had a flat tire or your tire busted. You know, the fact that you don't know it before, you become scared. You become
Yeah.
the journey can even end there. But
Yeah.
if I want to embark on that journey, I sit down and look at my risk. What are the risks? Due to the road, my tire is most likely to get busted. Um, my probably my car is not okay, and I need my the water level in the engine most likely run dry. How do I mitigate that? I get a 25-liter extra. I put it in the boat. How do I mitigate that? I get an extra tire. I put it in the boat. That way, I already have a risk in mind. I can go along the journey and nothing happens. Fine. I drop the water. I drop the tire. But when, for example, I now go and I just suddenly see that, oh, the temperature is high, I'll be relaxed. I'll just park the car, wait, and put more water and continue. Or probably I was driving and the tire just got busted and I was like, oh, no problem.
Yeah.
I'll open, just change it. So that's
Yeah.
how you manage risk. So
Wow.
before you encounter the project, before you start, you
Yeah.
think about all the possible risk, all the possible things that could happen. For example, I'll give you an example of
Okay.
one project. So
Yeah.
we needed to bring a developer. We'll be having a go live like
Okay.
by October,
All
and
right.
we need a developer on site from
Okay.
India.
Okay.
So, but along the project, to
Yeah.
get a Nigerian visa, I don't know if you've tried to process a Nigerian visa, it's hell. And some a foreigner once said it's like Nigerians. Nigerian government don't want foreigners, but that's not what we are doing here. So
Yeah.
you, as a project person, you think about by my go live, I need a developer on site from the company that we're partnering with. We don't want to work remotely because we are deploying on site. How
Yeah.
do I mitigate the risk of getting it earlier? I look at the timelines for normal processing, maybe 3 months or 6 months. Then I start earlier than that. I probably start that activity by February when I've not even developed any product. Because I know by the time I'll be developing the product, the developer needs to be on going to deploy. So
Yeah.
that is a risk which is very big because if someone is not on site, you're most likely not going to deliver that project. So
Mm.
identify that. So you sit down and identify all the potential risks. If
Yes,
you want
sir.
to get
Yes.
married, too, you sit down, think about all the risks. It's a project, and you look
Yeah.
at, oh, am I
Yeah.
willing to mitigate the risk? Can
Yes.
avoid some risk you just avoid completely.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we are not talking about marriage, but
Yeah.
when
But it's a
you
very
start
good
a
example. I'm
project,
sure a lot of people will be
yeah.
interested in
uh
that.
So it's because in the concept of project management, you look at all the possible scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Um, and some risk you just avoid it.
Yeah.
For example,
Some risks you just okay.
you want to fly through a war zone. You want to fly a
Okay.
plane from Nigeria
Yeah.
to probably UK, and probably
Hmm.
there's a war zone within the Sahara. That's a risk.
Hmm.
But if
So you
you're
avoid
flying,
it.
so
I
what
mean,
the best way to mitigate that is just go to
avoid
another
it.
risk. Yeah.
Ah,
So
great.
that's
Great.
one of another way of managing risk. And you
Hmm.
mitigate, you plan ahead, and some risk comes suddenly alongside. Maybe
Okay.
you never anticipated, you never thought about it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the most difficult risks to manage because
Manage.
it's something you didn't plan for. So when situation like that happens, you stop and
Okay.
evaluate that risk. That's the
Hmm.
first thing you don't have to do. You don't just try to whether avoid or mitigate. No, you evaluate it and see, is this risk going to affect my timeline? If it's going to affect my timeline, you communicate back to your major stakeholder that this and this and
Oh.
this is going on and it's going to affect this and that. So when you evaluate, if it's not going to affect, you also find a means of managing it, either to avoid or mitigate or anything. But if it's
Yes,
going to
sir.
affect it, you have to communicate. So like in summary, you plan ahead of your risk.
Yeah.
You That's when you now deploy the mitigation strategy, either avoid or prevent or put a measure in place. And if it's a sudden risk, you evaluate it, you communicate, and you move forward in the project. Yeah.
Wow. 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 I mean, I just love the simplicity of how you communicate project management. And I'm really certain that quite a lot of people, the audience who are listening to us today, will start falling in love with project management the
Yeah,
way
of
you
course.
are communicating it. All right. So, but allow me, I want us to ask, allow the audience to ask questions, before our time elapsed today. But before then, I want you to tell us how your life is as a project manager. What are the things you do in the office? I know you spoke briefly about some of the things earlier in some of the questions I asked you, but as a project manager, what is your life like? Are you always in a meeting, or you're always talking to somebody, or you're always on the laptop? Just run us through your life as a project manager. What does someone need to do to become one? And if possible, you might want to give us example of earnings that project managers make globally. I'm just asking this, I'm just going outside the box, because I know there are quite a number of people from this audience who are joining us across the world who want to know, okay, I think I love this project management stuff, but can you just tell me how the life is? For example, if you go to a Nigerian bank, for people who work in the bank, for example, they are like, let me use teller as an example. Oh, I'm just standing, collecting money, counting money. It's boring a bit. But this project management, IT project management, what's the life like? Are you just sitting on a chair, or you can be walking around? Just give us that life. We want to have an experience into how the life looks like as a project manager.
Yeah, thank you for it's a very fantastic question. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's project management is now getting a global. It's not even now. It's a global
Yeah.
career now. And if you want to transition,
Okay.
okay, let me start. Let me answer the first one, which is my daily life as a
Mm.
project manager. The truth is, you'll be doing a lot of talking and thinking. And the best way I can say it is you'll be doing a lot of what to say and what not to say to different category of people, because you on one part dealing with senior executives, powerful people, you're in the other part dealing with delivery people, You're on the other part planning your own life, and it's a lot of talking. And I will say it again, what to say and what not to say, how you manage your communication, and who to say it to and who not to say it to. And that's the first one. So it's about meeting people, talking people, following up, filling the pause. And also the other part is your ability to think forward based on the response, on the feedback. I will use this another example. Probably you're a manager and you are running an application. You need a developer, you need a database person, you need an engineer, a product owner. So by the time you've spoken with the database, you've spoken with the developer, you've spoken with the product owner, that way you can evaluate the pulse of the progress, right? Even without getting the data. But if you can't do that, then you most likely not be able to predict where your project is going to. Okay, so my daily life is just talking, talking. And the other part, there is data analysis and project management.
Really?
Yeah, because not core data analysis like
Okay.
running SQL servers and the likes, but you have to be able to analyze information. You get data left and right, you get numbers, you get different reports. And as a project manager, it's a duty for you to be able to put this number together, put it in a very fine slides or charts or dashboard and communicate and plan it out, make it a story. So it's also my daily life. We follow reports from left and right, different vendors, summary, progress report, numbers, and the likes. And we'll be able to put it in charts, plot it in graph, and communicate to the audience, to the organization on the progress. So basically, my life is about meetings, analyzing, and predicting and predicting. So that's or forecasting. Don't let me say predicting, just forecast. So that's it. And the second part, if you want to transition into project management, yeah, luckily you can get a straight project manager role. But
Yes.
the first thing you have to do is look at your past experience.
Hmm.
See from what I've explained, look at how it relates to project management and go and refine your CV. Then you can apply for roles like project coordinator, project officer, assistant project associate, project manager. This will give you an entry level perspective into project management. If you don't want to start outrightly as a project manager, because so in a very large organization, it could be challenging if you move straight from a technical role into project management straight away. It might be challenging. It's not that it's not possible, but it might be challenging. So when you have
Yeah.
an experience in project coordination, project associate, then you can move even within the organization or across it, you can move full-fledged into being a project manager.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow, 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 wow. Fantastic. All right. Just the last question before we go into our question and answer session. I just want to ask how important um, are stakeholder engagement in driving successful digital transformation initiatives? How important are stakeholders engagement? Yeah.
Stakeholder, I would say, yeah, it's a beautiful question because in
Yeah.
anything we do in life, or in anything we do in life,
Okay.
stakeholders take 90% of it
Yes,
in
sir.
anything. So the answer is it's absolutely and very, very important. And
Important.
the stakeholders are not only the leaders, even down to the end users, the people that are going to use the product. They are all your
Okay.
stakeholders. So
Okay.
you just have to find a way of making people buy
Yeah.
in, to understand the benefits, to make sure that everybody is satisfied. So the key word is satisfaction. And
Hmm.
that's how you rate, is one of the measures by which you rate a project. How satisfied all your stakeholders. So if you have a project that involves the president of the country, that involves the
Yeah.
ministers, that involves the governors,
Yeah.
everybody, all of them, or not all of them, like a large percentage of them have to be satisfied. Same
Oh,
way it runs down to from the governance to the civil
wow,
service,
wow.
down to the end users, to the market, to the
Everyone
traders.
has to be
You can
satisfied.
you can see that that's at that level. It may not be a project, it may be a portfolio, it may be a program, but everybody to a large extent, if they are not satisfied and you
Yeah.
get a negative feedback from the project, then it's not a success. That's it.
Wow. So
So
even if, sorry, Olamide, so even if
um,
what we intend to do, we were able to achieve it, but for the fact that there are some of the stakeholders that are not satisfied, then that project is not entirely successful.
if it's a large percentage, for example,
Yeah,
like looking at projects you intend for traders, for market women, market men, market women,
yeah,
and you deploy the projects, they are your stakeholders, and 80% of them,
hmm,
even though it's a very brilliant initiative, 80% of them saying no, they don't like it, it's not good, it's not fine, it's not good. Then it's not a success.
yeah,
Maybe your other job is now to make them like it. Then you know that that's not the end of your project. So you are at the delivery phase of
yes,
your
sir.
project and you're getting this feedback. So you as a project manager have to deploy a plan, an approach to make sure everybody buy in. And that's when the champion and the likes come in. So you now deploy strategies to make sure your stakeholders get you from 30% acceptance to 80 or 90% acceptance before you can actually call your project a
Right.
success. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this is another big expo you've just thrown to me today, you know. Thank you very much for that. And I'm certain that quite a lot of people are getting very good value from that. All right. So we have people already dropping in questions here. Somebody said, this is Ota Folayan. Okay, OTA Folayan. So he's asking, what certification do you recommend to get an entry level job? What certifications would you recommend? I don't know if you
Yes,
can hear me
in
clearly.
the project management field, if you're in the US and Canada and the Americas, it's good to get ACPM, Associate Certified Project Manager, or you get the
Okay.
full-fledged Certified Project Manager, which is the PNP, PMP, for Mango now, PMP.
Hmm.
And but if you're in the UK, I think Europe also recognize uh, PMP, but it's better to get Prince 2 certificate. They are virtually the same thing.
Prince.
They are just, yeah, Prince 2, they're just talking about different methodologies to deliver a project, like a standard approach.
Yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
it can be expensive if you're in Nigeria because it's over $700
Hmm.
or $500. So what I used to advise is there are free courses on LinkedIn. We have
Okay.
MOSs like Coursera that you can take um, project management course and you put them on your CV. So you could take courses and show that you're knowledgeable, and you could get PMP certification, Prince 2 certification, Associate Certified Project Manager certification. And if you want to go into the
Yeah.
deeper part, you can take Professional Scrum Master. We have we have three levels, PSM 1, 2, and 3. You can also take the Product Owner. There is a Project Management certification, Certified Product Owner from scrum.org. And you can take Certified Scrum Master. There is also Scrum Master SFC, Scrum Master Associate. I think some are free that you could take and just brush up your knowledge, your basic theory knowledge and project management. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So I believe, Afolayan, I believe your question was answered. All right. I have somebody else here, Kyle. He's asking that, okay, the question he's asking is relating to, I think, something you spoke about earlier, and he's saying sometimes plans don't go as expected. He said, can you give an example of how you've dealt with an unexpected change during a project you were handling? I don't know if you got that question.
Yes, yes, a lot of unexpected, sudden,
Yeah.
unexpected events, sudden events happen. And I would kind of give an example of a
Okay.
deployment phase where
Okay.
we were deploying on site, and the servers were on site, everything was on site. But all of
Okay.
a sudden, one of the servers failed, and for funny reasons, it didn't automatically switch to the failover cluster light. But so it was a sudden event because it's live, the product, the application is live, the organization is using it, and any sudden break is a manufacturing, and anything in manufacturing, time counts, every minute counts in manufacturing. So when we notice that, the first thing you need to quickly do is just think about the impact. And that's what I always say. Always evaluate the impact. Always at very fast time. Just think about where would this hit the most, which
Yeah.
department will feel this hits the most, and quickly run to and in that part when we saw that the application was down, at times it's funny when people say, the Facebook is down, and some people laugh about it. Some people are actually sweating
Yeah.
under the and it's not a funny scenario, I tell you. So when we thought about it,
Yeah.
we thought about the people that were impacted the most and the people on the shop floor. So the first place we went is just
Yeah.
went straight to the place and quickly put in manually the IP address for the other cluster and let them start working before we go to address the problem. Because if you don't do that, every, the if you are the deployment phase, people start losing confidence in that project. So that's one part on the digital part. You think about where that event impacts the most and quickly attack it from there. And the other part is
Mm.
when you now get such, you need to notice it now and identify it because you are going to run a similar project somewhere, sometimes, and you don't want to have that sudden event. Because the first time you made a mistake, the second time is definitely negligence. All right.
Wow. I
Yeah.
think you did justice to that. I will just ask Kayode, I believe you got your response to that question. All right. Okay, so we have another question. Okay, I think this person is responding to the first question you answered that has to do with certifications. So this person
Okay.
said, how about, yeah, he said, how about IO4, is it IO4 PM? I don't know about this, but he said someone mentioned it to me yesterday. Like someone mentioned it to him yesterday. IO4, like IO4
So,
PM. I'm not sure. Yeah, IO4 PM.
yeah. So one thing about the current world we are now is we have
Yeah.
a lot of organizations running
Okay.
certification program.
Yeah.
We have a lot of online courses now. Virtually, it's everywhere, and
Yeah.
it's been identified as a good way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Online elements and certification, you make money from it. So
Yeah.
that's where you have to be careful. In an environment you are, I don't know where the person is talking from, but if you're
Okay.
in that country and you
Yeah.
see job applications and every one of them is requesting for you have to be IO4 PM certified, you have to be IO4 PM certified, I would advise for you to do it. But if you're
Yeah.
in Canada, I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen any, or even in the US, and
Mm.
I've not seen any job adverts on project
Yeah.
management that
Yeah.
request for that certification.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're in the UK, you may not see PMP certification as a requirement. You probably see you have to Prince 2 certified, Prince
Wow.
2, Prince 2. But
Wow.
if you're in this part of the world, you will see more of PMP, PMP. So,
PMP.
probably the person is in Asia, and that is certification that is prominent the most. It's
Oh.
fine. And some
Yeah.
people may be in southern part, maybe Australia, and I know Australia is more of PMP. way.
Yeah.
So look at your vicinity, Google job applications randomly in project management, look at the certification requirements before you put
Yeah.
your money into a certification that will not carry weight. Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much for that. At Tiloops, I believe I'm mentioning your name correctly. You asked that question. I don't know if you got the clarity now from Olamide. I guess that thing you're mentioning, that name you're mentioning rather, sorry, could be the name of the organization. So it depends on your location, but you can reach us at ATC. We are very glad, or will be very glad to assist you so that you can make the best decisions. And before Olamide closes, and there is one more question I'm getting here from YouTube. I'm just gonna say that this is what we do at ATC. We are into training and mentorship, but much more than that, we give you the proper guidance you need so you could take the decision. So when it comes to IT project management, I can tell you that you're in the right place. We could guide you. We have over 20 consultants across the world that works, in collaboration with us to see that the people we train become global. They become global standards and global talents. So it's something you might want to look up to. So you could just send a message to us here on IG, sure that one of our admin would respond to that. All right. So I'm just going to ask this one more question I'm getting from YouTube. This person is asking, okay, he's saying that what are some of the common roadblocks that you, Olamide, have faced when you were implementing a project? He's just asking, I think he sent that message a long time, I think when you were talking about roadblocks briefly earlier. So he's just asking, okay, what are some of the common roadblocks that you probably have faced when you are implementing a project? I don't know if Olamide would want to talk about that, and we call it a
Oh,
break.
oh, okay. Roadblocks come in different angles, and it's a
Okay.
very good question. It's a fantastic one because, first of all, you're dealing with a project that had to deal with ordering materials.
Oh,
Just rest assured that, and to a large extent, you most likely encounter roadblock in terms of delivery, and that is vendors not meeting up to lead times, and they will tell you because just shortly before the COVID, or after the COVID, about 2 years after, when you are doing a project that involves electronics, it's gonna take longer than the usual. Like you order now and they tell you it's gonna come back next year, December, and you just have to find a way of managing that. So it's a big roadblock. Delivery, vendor delivery, supplies, and everything you need to run that platform. That's number one. And number two, like I mentioned, visa, your people that you need to bring in. And the third one, which is really, really key, is the end user acceptance.
hmm.
Um, if you're running the project for an organization or the general public, and as a project person or a scrum master or whatever role you are leading or championing the project, there needs to be a plan, a ramp up plan, depending on the organization requirements anyway, to make sure that the people you are developing the project for accept the products. That's it. I could remember one of the projects that I think I mentioned it made people feel they are going to lose their job. I yeah, so some set of people like they were doing that manually, and they felt this project Alameda is doing is gonna take away my job.
Wow.
Naturally, from their enemies,
Wow.
we you just automatically become an enemy. So it's also
Wow.
your duty to identify this and make sure that they are satisfied or they are rest assured that no, your job is not going to be taken away, but your job is going to be improved. And till now, they still have their job. They
Wow.
haven't lose their job. So it's a big challenge. Because these
Yeah.
people will frustrate the project and
Yes,
they'll make
sir.
your project come to light. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I agree. I mean, excellent, excellent example. So, to what's his name again that asked the question? I believe on YouTube. Uh, I believe you should have gotten the response now, and you have clarity on that. Thank you so much, Olamide. Um, who should I take now? I want to take just one more question, but I have on YouTube, I have on IG. Okay, let me just take this one briefly. I think Tulips again is asking Olamide. He's saying, In a bid to become a SME, is it possible to be a Scrum Master and a PM at the same time?
SME means subject matter expert, which
Yes.
is also a champion to whatever project you are delivering.
Yeah.
So there are two different roles.
Okay.
Yeah. SME is not really a role per se. SME, just like I talked about, you need to have champions that can buy into your idea. And
Yeah.
that's where the concept of SMEs come in, subject matter experts. People
Yeah.
you train to train others. Some people call them train the trainer, and
Yeah.
the like. But if you are talking about a subject matter expert in a technical field,
Yeah.
probably you're very good at server configuration, and you're very good at software engineering, and you want to transition into project management. It's another different topic. So if I understand correctly, maybe the person wants to transition from maybe a DBA to a Scrum Master. It's very simple because you just have to brush up your communication skills. We call it soft skills because a technical person, for example, I also do data analysis. I don't really communicate with a lot of people at times. I just run, integrate my data, connect the data, load it, run my script, and get my information and forward it to whoever needs to use it. But if you want to transition from that phase to a talking phase, and we call it a talking phase, you just need to first of all love the job because you can sit down in meetings for 5 hours, 6 hours,
Wow.
and
Wow.
think about is that the life you want to live. I know people that are senior developers, they don't want to be a scrum master because yeah, I even know very experienced all these PLC programmers, and they will just when we talking they'll be like, oh Ola, you are the one in charge of the politics and the talking. I do my job and I forward my report to you. Yeah. So the first thing you need to think of is, are you willing to be a talking person in an organization? Are you willing to be able yeah, I would mention to place some politics of, I don't need to tell this person this thing. No, he doesn't need to know it. This person needs to know it because you don't want to say the wrong thing. Not even not wrong, you don't want to say the right thing to the wrong person. So are you ready to start that life in your career? If yes, then start improving your soft skills. If you feel okay, because you don't in this part of the world anyway, the motivation may not pay may not be a motivation because a developer may be any more than a project manager. A DBA administrator can be any more than a project manager. So it's not about money or earning potential. It should be about what you want to do. So if you are satisfied to being a talking, approaching people person, then you can start brushing up the soft skills, which is majorly communicating. Um, yeah, communicating, negotiating. Yeah, you need to be able to negotiate people's time, communicating,
Yeah.
negotiating, and
Yeah.
also be able to talk to team, putting teams together, addressing teams, addressing issues. So once you're able to brush that, it's some courses. There are a lot of free courses on YouTube in that. Then you can now go into the certification aspect, and then you can start tweaking your CV to align with the business manager's career path. Yeah.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much, Olalide. I think you've done justice to the questions that have been asked. Thank you to Tulip, Kayode, Folayan, what's his name again, Banky, and everyone that have asked these questions. We believe you've gotten responses to your question. And we want to say a very big thank you to Olamide for taking his time to really break it down and explain. I am certain that anybody that joined us today should have a very simple, understanding of who a project manager is. How can I transition into becoming one? Looking at the story of Olamide, he started from agricultural engineering, and today he's a global talent. He works in a global standard, environment as an IT project manager. Olamide would like to say a very, very big thank you for joining us today. We got a lot of value. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, for people who are asking, oh, this is my first time of stumbling on ATC. What do you do? We are a firm that is into guidance, mentorship, training, and directing people. I mean, yeah, it's a transitioning program we do for people who want to transition into tech in areas like business analysis, IT project management, Scrum Master, product owner, product manager, you know, and the likes. You want to transition, you are going to a place like the UK, you are going to a place like Canada, you are going to a place like Australia, and you are like, oh, how can I transition so fast with clean and valuable experience that I can fit into the job fast as possible? Then trust me, ATC is where you need to call into. All right. So you can always reach us on our IG page, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our Twitter or X account, and every other platforms that we are in, and our admin will be very ready to respond to you. This is where we are going to be closing it tonight. Today, we want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us. Thank you for being a part of today's live webinar, and to Olamide all the way from Canada. I know it's so early morning, but we have to bring you in. Thank you so much for saying no to us. Thank you very much. All right, Olamide, I wouldn't know if there's a last statement or word or encouragement or something you would want to give to our audience today before we close it.
Yeah, before I go, I just want to say that everything one achieves, it's all to the glory of God. There's a place of preparation, there's a place of
Yeah,
opportunity, and there's a
yeah.
place of grace. So I could say grace play a larger role,
Wow,
whereas for you to enjoy the grace, you have to be prepared, and
wow.
grace will bring the opportunity in your path, which
Yes,
is
sir.
probably of my story actually.
Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful story. Beautiful story. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Olamide. I'm certain that everyone here will be happy to hear the last statement from you that grace is very important. This is where we'll be closing it, just like I said. We hope to see you again next month, everyone, when we are having another live webinar. Thank you very much, Olamide, for joining. Bye
Thanks so
bye.
much. Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.